Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Habayit number 16, the position of Rav Shternbach, Moadim Uzmanim, volume Hey, Siman Reish Chaf Ted deals with the Shaila. He is very similar to the previous positions where he prohibits it. A couple new points that he adds in. He writes that you may say, how could we say that the Shechina is still there by the Mikdash area, by the Habayit? How do you say the Shechina is still there? When we say in the bracha 3 times a day, Hamachazir Shechinat Holetzion, we pray to Hashem that He brings the Shechina back, which shows that halachically the Shechina is that. The divine presence is not there halachically, so to speak. Of course, we're not talking in physical terms. Kiviyachol. So that's an interesting question. He writes, no, Hamachazir Shechinat Holetzion, we pray for Hashem to bring the Shechina back. It's not all or nothing. That there's no Shekhinah there halachically, and now let's bring Shekhinah back. No, there are different levels of Shekhinah, of God's presence, so to speak, and we're asking and praying for the full Shekhinah to come back. Fine. Then he writes, what about if we know the place, can a person go up? So like the other postscript is concerned about toveling, are you going to be able to do the proper preparations and the hafifa and cleaning yourself well? Chatzitza, women are familiar with it. Are we familiar with it? He's concerned about that. Then he gets into an analysis of the exact place and the geography. He did a lot of study on this. He did a lot of work on this, and he comes up with some interesting ideas. He says, really, forget about Habayit, that we don't know exactly what's what. He says, even outside of the Temple Mount walls, he's concerned about driving on certain areas, walking on certain areas, and he has an interesting analysis. He says many are lenient to go up to the Kotel, but he says it's not simple, and not everyone agrees on that you can even go up to all around the Temple Mount walls, let alone the Temple Mount. Then he says, what about Rabbi Akiva Eiger in the 1800s? It seemed like Rabbi Akiva Eiger Chassam Sofer spoke with Rav Kalisher about bringing korbanot, and they had many practical concerns, but it doesn't seem like their concern was that we don't know where the Mizbeach should be or where the Golden Mosque is. If the Golden Mosque is in fact over that's the dome of the rock, and that rock is the Even Shasiya, which is from the temple, and now we could work from there. So we do know what's rock, because once we know where the temple, where the golden dome is, it's the dome of the rock, and we can identify from there. He says, yeah, they were just saying, assuming that that is the place, and they worked into the technical questions of can we bring a korban or not, and that was their focus. But it's not so simple that they'd be 100% behind that assumption that the gold dome of the rock is in fact the rock, the Even Shasiya, which will allow us to identify all the places, the locations of the Habayit. And then finally he writes that we have to be very careful about being tamei and going up to the Habayit. And he says even Gentiles are responsible for their actions of being up there, and therefore it would come out, according to him, the Arabs who are desecrating the place, and Mamash desecrating the place in every way, way beyond being Tamei Mason, going up there in a state of Tumah, putting toilets up there, who knows what else they're doing. He says they are liable, even if it's not one of the 7 Noahide laws, they are liable as well. So the Minchas, the Rav Shternbach, Moadim is very similar to Minchas Yitzchak Tzitzel Yes, Rav Avad Yosef, Rav Shach, and all the other poskim that ask for it. Just he has a few new points of his own. This concludes this series of shiurim on those who prohibit going up to Habayit. We went over the Tzitzel Eliezer, Rav Shach, the Stipler Rav, the Minchas Yitzchak, Rav Shternbach, and Yabia Omer. In Yetz Hashem next year, we'll give an overview of them and some ideas behind this prohibitive approach, and then Yetz Hashem go on to those who permit and even say it's a mitzvah to go up to the Habayit. Shalom.